Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Naturally podcast. We're very happy to have you here with us today. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sarah.
It's really great to have you listening today. Whether this is your first time joining us or you're coming back for another episode, you're always welcome here. This podcast is designed to help you improve your English in a real, natural, and comfortable way.
That's right. In every episode, we focus on everyday English, the kind of language native speakers actually use in real life, not just in textbooks. And today's topic is something that touches all of us, feelings and emotions.
Every day, we experience different emotions. Sometimes we feel happy. Sometimes we feel tired, angry, nervous, or proud. These feelings are a normal part of life.
But instead of only saying simple sentences like, I'm tired, I'm sad, or I'm scared, today we're going to help you express yourself in a better way.
We'll teach you colorful expressions, useful idioms, and natural phrases. These will help your English sound more fluent, more expressive, and more natural.
So, here's how today's episode will work. First, you'll listen to a short conversation between two friends. It's full of real-life situations and emotional expressions.
Try to listen carefully and calmly. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen and see how much you can catch.
After the conversation, we'll go through everything together, slowly and clearly. We'll explain the new phrases, break down the idioms, and show you how to use them in your own life.
We'll also share personal stories and extra examples to help you remember the expressions more easily.
So get ready. Grab a cup of tea or your favorite snack, relax, and let's dive in.
Oh, Josh, I honestly can't even explain the kind of week I've had. I'm feeling completely done in. I don't even remember the last time I felt just a little tired. This is much worse.
Yeah, you really don't look great. You look a bit under the weather. Are you okay? Was it just a cold or was it something more serious?
Something worse, actually. I was seriously sick on Tuesday. I had a fever, chills, and my whole body was aching. Honestly, I felt like I was at death's door. I even thought about going to the hospital.
Oh no, Emma, that sounds terrible. But hey, you're looking much better now. I'd say you're almost fit as a fiddle again. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Thanks. I think rest, hot soup, and a lot of complaining really helped. But just when I started feeling better, work completely went crazy.
Oh no, what happened at work?
My manager totally threw a wobbly on Thursday. He started shouting and got really angry right in front of the whole team.
Wait, seriously? What happened? Was he just in a bad mood, or did something big go wrong?
He was worse than usual. He was grumpy all day, shouting, slamming doors, blaming everyone. No one even dared to speak to him.
Wow, that must have been really tense. I thought my week was stressful, but yours definitely takes the prize.
Yeah, although I had another small drama too. Yesterday I was in the elevator and it suddenly stopped for a second and jerked. I completely jumped out of my skin. I honestly thought it was going to drop.
Oh wow, that sounds terrifying. Even thinking about being stuck in an elevator makes my heart race.
Same here. That's why I took the stairs today, just in case.
Smart move. Honestly, after all that, we both really need a quiet, peaceful weekend.
Okay, that really was a heavy week for Emma and Josh, wasn't it? From being sick, to angry bosses, to scary elevators, a lot happened.
Exactly. And the great thing about their conversation is that it was full of real, emotional, everyday English. So now let's slow things down and look at the idioms they used, one by one.
We'll explain what each expression means, how native speakers use it, and we'll give you extra examples from real life.
All right, let's start with the very first idiom Emma used. She said, "I'm feeling completely done in."
This is a very natural British expression. When someone says they are done in, it means they are extremely tired, not just a little tired, but completely exhausted.
Yes, it can mean physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, or both. It's much stronger than just saying, "I'm tired."
When you say, "I'm done in," you're basically saying, "I have no energy left. My body is tired, my mind is tired, I need to rest."
You'll hear this expression a lot after a long, busy, or stressful day. For example, imagine coming home after hours of running errands, dealing with traffic, standing all day, and then you sit on the couch and say, "I'm absolutely done in."
I've used this expression many times myself. One day last year, I had 5 lessons in a row at school. The students were great, but very energetic. Lots of questions, jokes, and movement.
He loved the classes, but they took a lot of energy.
Exactly. When I got home, I didn't even cook dinner. I just told my wife, "I'm done in," and I went straight to bed.
Oh, I know that feeling. For me, it was after a long travel day. I had an early flight, a long wait at the airport, then a 2-hour delay.
By the time you reached the hotel, you were finished.
Exactly. When I finally looked in the mirror, I thought, "You are done in, girl."
And remember, this idiom is not only about your body. You can also feel done in mentally, for example, after a long meeting or a day full of difficult decisions.
Now let's give our listeners 2 clear examples.
After dealing with the client presentation all day, I was completely done in.
And here's mine. He looked done in after organizing the wedding all by himself.
Perfect. So remember, done in is not for small tiredness.
It's for those days when your body, your brain, and your mood are all tired at the same time. So next time a friend asks you, "How was your day?" and you've had one of those days, just say, "Honestly, I'm done in."
It's short, expressive, and sounds just like a native speaker. Okay, now let's look at another very common and useful expression that Josh used. He said, "You look a bit under the weather."
This is a very natural phrase in everyday English. If someone is under the weather, it means they are not feeling well.
Maybe you have a small cold. Maybe your head hurts. Maybe you just feel weak or a bit off. You're not seriously sick, but you're definitely not feeling great either.
Exactly. This expression is polite and gentle. It's a nice way to say someone seems unwell without sounding dramatic.
Here's a simple example. I'm going to stay home today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather.
And another one. He's under the weather, so he won't be at the meeting today.
I actually used this phrase last week. I had a slight headache and my throat felt dry. I didn't have much energy, but it wasn't bad enough to stay in bed all day.
When a friend asked how you were, you didn't say, "I'm sick," right?
Right. I just said, "I'm okay, just a little under the weather."
And that's exactly when this idiom is perfect. You're not really sick, but you're not your best self either.
For example, if you don't sleep well for 2 nights in a row, you might feel slow and weak even if you're not ill.
That's when you can say, "I'm under the weather. I think I just need some rest."
This phrase is also very useful at work. You can say something like, "Sorry if I'm a bit quiet today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather."
It also works well in messages or emails. For example, "Hi, just letting you know I won't be in today. Feeling a bit under the weather."
It sounds friendly and natural, not serious or dramatic.
And one important thing to remember, this idiom has nothing to do with the actual weather.
Even if it's sunny outside, you can still say you're under the weather.
So if you feel a bit off, tired, or unable to focus, just say, I'm a little under the weather.
All right, now let's look at a very dramatic but very common expression Emma used. She said, I was almost at death's door on Tuesday.
Now, don't worry, this does not mean she was actually dying. This idiom is used to exaggerate how sick or weak someone felt.
When someone says they were at death's door, it means they felt extremely unwell, very weak, very tired, and completely miserable.
It's often used when you have a bad flu, a high fever, food poisoning, or any illness that makes you feel like you can't move at all.
This is a great example of exaggeration in English. We often use big, dramatic expressions to make our stories more emotional or more interesting.
For example, instead of saying, I felt really sick, you can say, I was at death's door.
Here are a couple of examples. I had the worst stomach bug. I was at death's door all weekend.
Or, he looked like he was at death's door before the doctor gave him medicine.
I remember using this expression myself once. I caught the flu during winter. I was coughing, sneezing, sweating, and everything hurt.
You couldn't even sit up in bed.
Exactly. I texted you and said, please send soup. I'm at death's door.
I remember that. You sounded awful, but also a little dramatic.
And that's normal. People often use this phrase with a bit of humor or sarcasm.
I've used it too after food poisoning. I couldn't keep anything down for 2 days. When my mom called, I said, Mom, I think I'm at death's door.
Of course, a few days later you were fine, but in that moment it really felt that bad.
Exactly. You're not actually dying, but it feels like the worst day ever.
People also use this phrase to get sympathy. You want someone to say, oh no, poor you.
You can even use it to talk about someone else. For example, she didn't get out of bed for 3 days. She was at death's door.
So, if you feel extremely sick and want to describe it in a natural, dramatic way, try using at death's door.
It adds emotion, personality, and sounds very natural in casual English.
All right, after feeling done in, under the weather, and even at death's door, what happens when you finally start to feel better?
That's when you can say, I'm fit as a fiddle.
This is a fun, old English expression. It means you feel healthy, energetic, and strong again.
It's a very positive phrase. It's like saying, I'm back to normal, or even, I feel amazing.
Even though the word fiddle is a musical instrument, like a violin, this expression has nothing to do with music.
When someone is fit as a fiddle, it simply means they are in great shape and full of life.
Here's some examples. After a week of rest, she is fit as a fiddle again.
Or, don't worry about my dad, he's 80 years old and still fit as a fiddle.
I remember saying this after recovering from a bad cold. I had been sick for 3 or 4 days, just lying around and feeling awful.
Then one morning, you woke up, made coffee, and suddenly felt better.
Exactly. I thought, wow, I feel fit as a fiddle. My energy came back all at once. It felt like magic.
For me, it was after foot surgery. I couldn't walk properly for weeks.
But after rest and therapy, everything improved.
Yes, one day I went for a short jog and texted my friend, guess what? I'm fit as a fiddle. It felt amazing to move freely again.
You can also use this idiom to talk about other people.
For example, you were sick yesterday, but today you're fit as a fiddle.
Or even as a compliment. Wow, you're looking fit as a fiddle today.
This expression also works after a stressful time, not just after physical illness.
If you've had a good rest, a holiday, or a quiet weekend, and now you feel full of energy again, this idiom is perfect. All right, now let's talk about an expression that sounds a bit funny, but describes something very real.
Emma said that her manager threw a wobbly on Thursday.
This is a very British expression. When someone throws a wobbly, it means they suddenly lose emotional control.
Usually it's about anger, but it can also be frustration, crying, or a total emotional meltdown.
This is not quiet anger. It's loud, obvious and often embarrassing.
For example, he threw a wobbly when he couldn't find his phone.
Or, my boss threw a wobbly when we missed the deadline.
Often it happens out of nowhere. One moment the person seems fine, and the next moment they're shouting or complaining.
I've seen this happen at work before. Once, a team member forgot to save a document and we lost 2 hours of work.
The manager was usually calm, but that day she completely threw a wobbly.
Papers were slammed on desks, voices were raised, the whole room went silent.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It really was.
I've seen something similar at home, too. My little cousin once threw a wobbly because we cut his sandwich the wrong way.
Triangle instead of square?
Exactly. Total meltdown. Crying, shouting, everything.
And that's an important point. This expression isn't only for adults.
You can also use it for children, especially when they suddenly cry or scream.
For example, my toddler threw a wobbly in the supermarket because I said no to sweets.
This phrase is often used in a light or slightly humorous way.
It's not the same as simply saying, he got angry.
It's more dramatic, more emotional, and sometimes a bit childish.
Exactly. When someone throws a wobbly, it's about how they show their emotions.
Loud, messy, and over the top.
One useful tip, this expression is informal.
So use it when talking to friends, not in formal writing or business emails.
All right, let's move on to a phrase that is very common and very easy to use. Josh asked Emma, was he just in a bad mood?
To be in a bad mood means you feel annoyed, grumpy, or unhappy. Sometimes there is a clear reason, and sometimes there is no reason at all.
It's not as strong as being angry. A bad mood is often quieter.
For example, someone in a bad mood might not smile. They might speak in short sentences or snap at people.
Here's an example. Don't talk to her right now. She's in a bad mood.
I had a bad mood yesterday, actually. Nothing serious happened, but small things went wrong.
Like what?
I spilled coffee on my shirt. I missed the bus. Then my phone battery died.
After that, everything felt annoying.
Exactly. Even little sounds in the office bothered me. I didn't say much. I just sat quietly.
Then a colleague asked, are you in a bad mood?
And I said, yes, definitely.
A bad mood can also come from lack of sleep.
Yes, if I stay up too late watching Netflix, I wake up tired and everything feels harder. Traffic, emails, people.
And when someone asks what's wrong?
I just say, I don't know, I'm just in a bad mood today.
What's interesting is that you can be in a bad mood for big reasons,
Like stress at work or an argument.
or for no reason at all.
And moods can change quickly. They come and go.
Here's a helpful tip. You can also say, he's in a good mood today.
So it works both ways, good mood and bad mood.
Now, let's talk about a very useful word that connects to this, grumpy.
If someone is grumpy, they are a little angry, a little annoyed, or just not in a good mood.
But it's not serious anger. It's softer, low-level moodiness.
For example, he gets grumpy when he's hungry.
Or, I'm always a bit grumpy on Monday mornings.
Grumpy people usually don't shout.
But they might frown, give short answers, or act quiet and cold.
You can usually tell something is wrong, even if they don't say it.
And being grumpy is usually temporary.
Yes, maybe you're tired, stressed, or just annoyed by something small.
I get grumpy when I don't sleep well.
I get grumpy when I'm hungry. My wife always carries snacks, not for herself, but for me.
Because when you're hungry, your face changes.
Exactly. She just says, here, eat something. You're getting grumpy.
And one more thing, grumpy can also sound a little funny.
Yes, sometimes we use it with a smile.
Like, Grandpa's being grumpy because his football team lost again. All right, now let's talk about a different kind of emotion. Not anger, not tiredness, but sudden fear or surprise.
That's when we say, I jumped out of my skin.
This idiom means you were so shocked or scared that your body reacted immediately.
It's that moment when something happens suddenly and your whole body jumps.
It's not about fear that builds slowly. It's about a quick, unexpected shock.
For example, I jumped out of my skin when the fire alarm went off.
Or, she jumped out of her skin when someone knocked on the window.
This feeling is very real. Almost everyone has experienced it.
I remember walking home late one night.
It was quiet and dark.
Then, suddenly, a cat ran across the path right in front of you.
Exactly. I jumped out of my skin. For a second, I thought it was something much bigger.
Then you laughed, right?
Yes, after my heart slowed down.
I had a similar moment watching a scary movie alone.
The room was dark, the music was creepy.
And suddenly, something jumped out on the screen. I screamed. I really did jump out of my skin.
It took me 5 minutes to calm down.
This idiom isn't only for scary things.
It can also be a loud noise,
Or even your phone ringing in the middle of the night.
like when you're half asleep and your phone suddenly rings.
You jump out of your skin. And that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We really hope you enjoyed exploring all these useful and powerful expressions for feelings and emotions.
Today, you learned natural English that people really use in everyday life.
From feeling done in to being under the weather, from being at death's door to feeling fit as a fiddle again.
We also talked about throwing a wobbly, being in a bad mood, feeling grumpy, and even jumping out of your skin.
These expressions help you sound more natural, more confident, and more like a native English speaker.
Remember, don't try to use everything at once.
Just choose 1 or 2 expressions, practice them, and use them in your own daily life.
We'll be back next time with more everyday English.
Thank you for listening and spending time with us today.
Keep practicing
Keep smiling.
and keep learning.
This has been English Naturally podcast, your space to grow with real, natural English.
See you next time.
Bye for now.